Hello everybody, welcome back to another video for the day. Now we're diving right back into r/Tales of Neckbeard, because you know everybody loves that good old cringy story time. You know the deal, like the video, during the video, start up a good old discussion by leaving a comment down below, and afterwards consider subscribing. Let's go. Creepy perverted weeb. This is my first time posting, so sorry for any errors or whatever other crap I do, such as the wrong sub or something. Here's a little background. I'm currently 17, and this stuff has happened within the last year. I'm a female high school student in America, and most of my friends are boys and some are girls. One of those friends used to be the Neckbeard. These are the series of events that have happened, so it is not 100% correct for some of it. The cast is me, Neckbeard, call him MB, best friend R, other friends A and MC. I first met MB in middle school, but I never talked to him as his appearance, attitude, and body odor was and still is kinda disgusting. I left to live with my dad and then came back 2 years later as a junior. I'm a senior now, and we were still not friends until the beginning of the school year. Now, I do want to note that I can be nice until you're wrong with me or people I care about. Anyway, here's the series of events. Early into befriending people, I let them know that I don't know my sexuality and I lean towards asexuality due to my lack of interest in sexual interaction. I told MB this and he automatically assumed I was happy. I didn't really mind too much until he just said I was basically a thespian, which I'm sure I'm not. Girls are still pretty though. That annoyed me, but I ignored it. Later on, I had come up behind him and poked his side to get his attention as it was a passing period and I wanted to say hi. Big frickin' mistake. He looked down at my chest and jabbed them. I really wanted to beat his butt, but I knew that would be pointless and a way to get me in trouble. MB, you can't do that. That's not cool. Well, you touched me first, so it's only fair. I was shocked. This fat frick thought he could touch my private areas because I touched his side? I was pissed, so I walked away. Soon, my friend's birthday came and they began dating. Now, R and MB weren't a good couple. MB always complained, so I told him to break it off. He disliked it so much. I want to point out that he asked how long R's dating time lasted. I told him 2 weeks without really thinking. He used her for experience and to beat the record. But before he could break up with her, I warned R. She was hurt, but quickly moved on after breaking up with him right away. Soon, I made the same mistake of coming up behind him and pulling on his backpack to get his attention. I wasn't pulling hard at all. Bad move again. He grabbed my hood and choked me. I almost punched him right in his fat turkey neck. Don't do that, you choked me. I didn't choke you, MB. So, you did it first. I didn't choke you. I walked off. Throughout the crappy friendship, he had said some very rude things to not only me, but my friends as well. He has also lied about things like him and R's relationship and what she said. Close to the friendship ending, I found out that while I went off to get food, he touched a guy's butt while the guy wasn't paying attention. I also found out that he has groped MC, A, and J. R and I decided that it would be best to cut him off, as he was always too rude, perverted, and his body odor was horrid. We also let MB's mom, yes, his parents are two women for clarification, know that he wasn't being appropriate. After that, he avoided us like the plague. I noticed that he has also begun to avoid the people we spend time with. Okay, I have no idea what's wrong with this dude. Like seriously, you don't go poking people's chests just because they poked your side. Oh, you poked me, that means I can poke you. It's not the same. Just because you poke me doesn't mean I get to deck you now. Our next story comes to us from username Kuru SSSSTTTCG-. The transformation of my ex. So burner for the sake of not staining my main account, but this is the very stressful story about my ex that was anything but a nice guy. I met this guy in grad school. He was nerdy and was big about not caring how he looked, but that didn't bother me because he seemed nice. He helped people with assignments, he seemed big on women's rights, huge chance from my last boyfriend, and he was big on never using his parents' wealth and making his own path. Important things to note is that English was not his first language, but he is pretty much fluent. We live in a country where English is not the first language, so when we were just hanging out, he seemed nice enough. We watched a lot of TV together. I showed him some of the more popular American cult following cartoons since he liked Rick and Morty so much. He had just gotten over this one girl who supposedly took a break from her long-term boyfriend to be with him. He took it pretty hard when she went back to him, and everyone saw him as the nice guy that got fricked over by some girl. She is a whole nother story, so I'm not going to focus on her. I remember the first time we went to make out. I was just like, look, are we like exclusive or what is this? his response, "Is that a question Americans have to ask? The guys here are nicer." We continued to hang out, and maybe 2 months in, he told me how he accidentally cheated when he was drunk with his old hookup buddy. We were never official and never went all the way, so I was a little pissed, but got over it pretty quickly for the sake that he was part of the friend group and I wasn't all that into him at this point. I let him know, like, look, if you don't want this to be exclusive, that's fine, but be upfront about it. I don't care if it's just friends with benefits. Which worked out well for a few months until he declared we were exclusive. I was going through some stuff, had to fly back to the States, and found out that he slept with somebody from another person. I was really hurt at this point because he was the one who asked me and he was getting more clingy. He claimed it was a huge language problem and he'd go official, and now it was clear to him no sleeping around. I'm an idiot who stuck around, and this is all what happened after this. Without judging me too much, this was the last month. His personality switch happened overnight and he was supposed to be getting psychological help, and I was left waiting. One, he started to look at girls who rejected him and claim how they always went after jerks and girls who don't appreciate nice guys like him. You almost left me for similar reasons. 2, after we started our relationship as big gamers, he suddenly started commenting on how I spend my time. Have you considered picking up a book? It was a weird part of our arguments because I write, amp, and edit for a living, and / was still in school. So during my spare moments, I didn't want to stare at paper. He commented about how he didn't approve of hobbies that didn't mentally stimulate him, despite the fact that he used to play more than 30 hours a week of the month prior. 3, even though he would rewear the same graphic t-shirts, underwear with holes in it, he started commenting on how I needed to make more of an effort for him. I had some lacy underwear, but after seeing each other for over a year, I was comfortable only wearing that stuff maybe 3 times a week. Again, I'm working and I'm in school. He said if he was a girl, he would always be ready to look best for his man. Also, he wanted me to stop wearing colored socks because they were really immature, and stop taking pictures with my friends and intentionally funny faces because they were unattractive. That's the point? 4, we used to practice watching kids' movies in his native language so I could learn. Suddenly, he said they weren't intellectually stimulating and said we could watch documentaries instead. Like, some of them are fine, especially animals, but I couldn't see the philosophical things in a language he hardly spoke. He got upset about this on a list he later made about things that made him question us being together, because some of his friends don't speak English, and I would sound dumb to them if I tried to converse and couldn't hold the deep conversation that showed I was smart. 5, he accused me of cheating with anyone who would write my phone. I have a lot of guy friends. Most of my interactions are with guys, happy and straight. Some have been friends for over a decade. He let me know that despite the fact he constantly hung out with his female friends one-on-one, even after the cheating, it was inappropriate for a girl to be hanging out with guys or even talking to them. He kept asking if I had their girlfriend's permission. I asked if he did the same with his friends' boyfriends. His response, it's not the same. He would say that he was worried about secret conversations. How could I prove they didn't exist? I could never. He even got upset that he found out I hung out with a guy alone, at a public cafe, the week before he cheated, and a few times when we weren't exclusive. We never did anything messing around, just friends that didn't happen to hang out with other people that day. He kept insisting that I did something there. I was like, you cheated, and technically doesn't most of what I could have? He said he didn't like the idea of me sleeping with other people even if he did it. He talked about how this is just because he was cheated on, because girls are horrible and cheat, but guys care so much. He started expecting favors like every day, twice a day. What that didn't work out, he told my friends I have a low drive and I used messing around to keep him in check and withheld it to control and take advantage of him. There was even a day I sprained my ankle and told him I wasn't in the mood to give him a BJ because I didn't want to hurt myself. He accused me of lying to get out of doing him a favor. I told him, like, even if it was a lie, I don't owe you messing around on demand. His response, so you're saying it's okay to lie to your boyfriend? After we broke up and he was trying to win me back, he argued, well, I can't trust Americans. It's how you girls are. The girl I cheated on you with was American. You can't blame me for not trusting you, but you were the one who cheated? Oh, you never let it go. I'm just this nice guy and you're taking advantage of how much I care about you. He even got mad that I had some experience with an old partner and said that the way you present yourself makes you seem like you don't, and it's misleading. It's unfair because I thought you had less experience in the beginning, when I never lied about it. He was just bummed I wasn't a maiden. He also complained how he didn't like the idea that he worked for me, to be more open just for me to do it with other guys. And the biggest thing for me, neckbeard-wise? 6, he started bashing people. Everyone he helped, he would randomly comment how dumb they were. His father was a doctor, and he complained how simple he was because he couldn't even understand Rick and Morty. Really? I'm not saying he was dumb, but he wasn't a genius. He wasn't the next Einstein, and he wasn't in the position to be such a dong. After he graduated, his bank account went into the negative, and he did nothing for months besides game, and then read philosophy books when he was above it. My friend who's also working and studying told him the grocery store he works at was hiring if he needed something to do / make money. My neckbeard ex scoffed to his face when I asked him about it. His response was, "I get some other people I can, but I would never be able to go into environments where I'm not mentally challenged. I'd rather go negative on my account than take a job like that." I berated him. I'm poor and this was my best friend he insulted. I knocked him down quite a peg and you could see it in his face. Still, he didn't get a job. Bonus sexism. I wasn't just that kind of thing he scoffed at though. It was also women. We are in the science for our degree. It started when my sister's friend got pregnant with a girl. My sister and I bought the baby a bunch of books, science books from me and feminist books from her, women's studies major. Then we agreed on a book, Women of Science, to tie it together. Well, he scoffed again and mumbled under his breath. I asked him what the problem was and he said he didn't see the importance of teaching a baby about women in science or why the book existed. There just aren't many famous women in science. I explained its importance because of comments like that. He challenged me to name 5. Done. He shut up about it until I was giving a poster presentation for my class on my research. My eyes are shot and I just finished another job involving a pink PowerPoint template, so I kept the color scheme and was planning on changing the color later. He insisted he look it over, and even after I told him the color was temporary, he told me that he hated it because the color was too girly to be taken seriously. Needless to say, I kept the color. I got a better grade and put us on a break until he got his mental health check 48 hours later. I tried being there to help him through therapy. He pulled the offing card and would call me saying how he mixed drugs and alcohol and didn't care because he didn't have me. Eventually, after blowing up my phone, he gave me the ultimatum of him or my friends over text. I kept insisting I'd rather talk in person, but he pushed it and I ended it right there. His response was to tell all of my friends how he was a nice guy and girls never know how to treat a nice guy. He was acting so serious and it scared me. He's pretty sure I cheated. No one believed him because they knew me and knew how he cheated. I did confront him and ask him to stop, but eventually I just had to block him on everything. Even had to do Steam because he wrote me in there and wait for him to move next month. He showed up crying 2 months later and asked my close friend roommate if he could use her room. Drunkenly told my friend that he did it so maybe he could accidentally run into me and then cried. No idea what he's doing now, but hoping he doesn't pop back into my life. Haha. Sorry for spelling problems. I didn't see much that were an issue. Honestly, I gotta say I am so glad you are no longer with that dude. That guy is an absolute toxic hypocrite. Like, seriously, I don't know what was going through his mind that thought it was okay for him to do stuff that he was not okay with you doing, but he is not going to get far in life if that's his thought process. I really do hope he never shows his ugly butt in front of you anytime soon or anytime in the inevitable future, but I hope you're okay. And with that is going to have to be it with the video. If you would like what you had seen, be sure to slam that like button and comment down below what you liked about it. And also, hit the subscribe button and be sure to turn on those notifications because I'm pretty certain YouTube is trying to unsubscribe people to me because my sub rate has been horrendous lately. I'll be sure to see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching and bye-bye.